the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, liberty and justice for all.
And justice for all.
Silence, please. Okay, you want to go ahead and do roll call? You have to done roll call.
I have not, no.
Okay, Marty?
Diana Castellano here. Here.
Councilmember Moreno,
Here.
Councilmember Morales,
Here.
Councilmember Zavala,
Here.
and Councilmember De La Fuente.
Thank you, Marty.
You're
So,
welcome.
Ryan's learning this will be his first actual meeting that he's gonna be like taking the reins right there. He just sat in last time, but, okay. So, can we get, vote on the meeting agenda?
I make a motion to make, to vote on the meeting agenda.
I have a motion by Diana,
Second motion.
I second by Antonio. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. So, do we have any visitors' comments, buddy?
Nobody online.
Okay.
Sophia, so tell her that 220 Main Street.
Sophia, I don't think it's on. Can you
Maybe
talk?
it's not on.
Can't hear me?
No. Okay, now it's on.
Sophia, so tell her 220 Cedar Street.
Thank you.
So I'm part of the Greater Matson Association who does Matson Community Days. I want to know about the float building. And I heard the locks were changed and city people were in there cleaning stuff and throwing stuff away. We have all our property in there. And why would one of our members or me, the president, called to be their witness when you guys were inside there?
Well, for one, the GMA building that you claim to be,
I said the float building.
flow building belongs to the city of Mapton.
Yes.
So
So the
the sewer
GMA
running,
has all their property in there because we host Mapton Community Days and Miss Mapton all the time.
so we went in there because I saw that the garage door was open and there was a heister in there.
Who opened the garage door? You people opened the door.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
And they have that right, that belongs to the city.
But we occupy it with our property. You should at least give us notice that you're gonna go in and inspect or do whatever.
It
I think
belongs
so.
to the city.
But not when we
It
were,
belongs-
but you gave us permission last
you know,
year on record.
Okay,
Yes,
we're gonna
you
get a
did.
hold of Jimmy. We're gonna get this taken care of. We're gonna put it on
Jimmy
the
has
record.
nothing to do with us.
Well, Jimmy actually came to the council meeting that last time when you said, yes, I'm not taking it away, it's for the.
No, yeah, but he says if you run the Miss Mapton, little Miss Mapton, and
Any
you
Miss
take the
Mapton, yeah.
float, yeah, any Miss Mapton, and the float has to be running in parades. That's what he was told, that was told to me and Nada. As long as the float's up and running, you guys have access to that. We open and we lock. That's the way when I had the Miss Mapton for 7 years, Tootie opened the door for me and I had to pull out that float. I was never able to use the float building. I was able to pull out the float and go park it, and Tootie would be the one to open that door for me. I was never given a key.
Okay, three mayors before you, actually 2 mayors before you, gave us keys to have access, because we were in there in and out all the time. When we started, when the GMA formed and started doing Mapton Community Days and doing Miss Mapton and all that, they gave us the key to get in and out. We had 2 keys only. The president had it, which at that time was Gay, and the treasurer, which was Opie, had keys. They retired and left, and they gave me a key.
Mark had the other one.
And Mark had the other one because he was in charge of Miss Mapton, so they can get in and out and do that, so that's fine. But why did you change it and just take it away, lock up, change the
Because it
lock?
belongs to the city.
Hang on. But the mayor before let us use it. They gave us.
That
the
was
key.
the mayor before, Sophie. Now I'm a new mayor and I need to watch out for the best interests of the city. You all didn't have permission to park a heister in that building. That building belongs to the city. Now,
No, we
let's
don't.
say can you please give me a minute?
Why am I stopped?
If something were to happen to that building, God not want to catch on
Of course
fire,
not, 'cause all our
but,
property's in there, yeah.
okay, and the heister. Now, the heister belongs to the food bank.
Yes.
Who gave the food bank permission
I
to
did.
park it? Okay, well, that's not your building to do
I
that.
did it to help the community because they couldn't start their heister during the winter because outside froze it.
Well,
So
there's
they
no
asked
rain
me-
in there either.
Rachel,
Well,
you
you're-
told us last year, right here in this council, on record, that you were gonna allow GMA to continue.
No,
Yes, you
continue
did.
on your own, but you weren't gonna use that building.
No, yes, that's
No.
what you get.
Yes.
I'm gonna get the, I'll
Okay,
get
get
it.
it.
have
I
all
will.
that stuff
I'll
anyway.
get him because
Okay.
you told Jimmy that.
No, Jimmy reached out to
Jimmy,
me.
no, Jimmy was here that night a year ago when this first started. when
Yes,
you
and
first
he reached
began.
out to
Did
me
not
and
reach
Nina
out to
this
you.
week, this last
You
week.
reached out to him and made an appointment to him to be here. You reached
No,
out to
he
him.
reached out to me. I didn't reach out to him. Why would I do that? He didn't even
Because
show
you
up.
want to kick us out of there is why.
No.
But anyway, that's beside the point.
Okay.
You know, we have our own property and you can at least.
Okay,
instead of
well, it belongs to
calling us-
Jimmy, the property. You
The
can, we
property,
can,
yes.
we can have the guys open the doors tomorrow and you guys can haul it out.
Come on,
So
Rachel,
we
you know
can't
we
do this
can't.
map anymore
Oh my
because you don't
God.
want.
You're not doing this, Mapton. You want your
You don't
GMA.
know if we are.
COVID hit, we quit doing it. Right now, we do not have anybody to do mismapping. We're hoping someone will volunteer and end up doing it. But just because we're not doing mismapping right now, doesn't mean we're not gonna continue to do it, because we have, we have the float to help people do the mismapping. We have a volunteer to help host it or run it. We'd be more happy to work with them too. But my problem is that you get in there and we have our property in there.
And
we
you
were-
guys,
we
and
were
that place
told.
was a dump. You guys didn't have it cleaned. We have pictures.
We haven't been in there since before COVID.
What's
Yeah,
that?
We haven't been in there
How
since
many
before
years?
COVID. And we didn't do American Community Days or anything for 2 years, 2.5 years.
Well, we couldn't last year. We couldn't get into school last year.
That's true, yeah, so 2.5 years, we couldn't do anything.
And so
We
my
started
understanding
up-
is.
Started up again in 2022, we just started up Mountain Community Days again. We did not have Miss Mountain because we didn't have anybody to run it. The lady who did it before, her daughter was Miss Mountain, grew up and left. It doesn't mean we're not gonna keep doing it, but my problem is that.
Well, it's
we
too late
have
to get
to-
it started because
This
community
year,
days
yes,
in
for
June.
this year,
No, we don't.
for this year, yes. Last year, because COVID hit, we didn't have it
And
until
like I
August.
said, once you guys get the Miss Mapton royalty going, we don't have a problem opening the building for you and locking it up at the end.
I hope you're open when we need it.
Yeah.
For the city, like yesterday.
Yes.
you were.
Well, you know,
So
Judy,
you're not opening that day and we have to give the key back that night.
no,
We
I'll go
decorate at
open
night.
it. I'll go open it and we will close it.
Oh, my
Nobody's
God.
gonna have access anymore. I'm
You're
sorry.
a child. You need supervision like that.
Okay, so let's move on.
I guess so.
Thank you.
Okay, that was the problem now. So we need to get a key so we can go in there and look to see what we have.
Okay,
because
tomorrow I
never
can have the
knew
guys
was cleaned
open
down.
it and they can wait for you, but you're not
Well,
gonna get
I
it.
can't do
cleaned.
it tomorrow. I have to do it on a Saturday. I
Okay,
work
well, you'll
during the
have to
week.
do it, okay, if you're willing to pay for one of the guys to come in on a Saturday, then you can do
This
it.
is why Mario will give us a key, to be able to get in
I'm
on
sorry,
the
but you'll have to
weekend,
work around our
decorate.
schedule.
So, I mean, we have to decorate at night, when we do Miss Mountain again, we have to decorate at night. We-
The
You
5
guys are
minutes.
doing it during the meeting.
Huh?
The-
Well, I thought before we were talking. I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, Sophie.
So when can we get in there to look at the stuff that was removed or what you guys did in there?
They cleaned, is what they did in
When can
there.
we get in there?
Well, I'll see what the guys' schedule looks like tomorrow, and if one of them's available, then we'll have them go over and open it for you.
Sarah, you wanna go in there? I'm at
I
work.
can't, I have an appointment tomorrow, but I'll try.
Well, then I'll have to call and schedule something,
Okay.
but hopefully they can do it in the weekend or in the evenings because,
Well, you'll have to do it before 5 because we're not paying overtime to the guys.
so you're
If
really
they
making
get
a
one to
difference for
volunteer,
them.
is that all right?
If one of them wants to volunteer their
Okay.
time.
I just wanna know.
Okay.
Anybody else online, Muddy? Muddy?
Nobody online, Mayor.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead, I need someone to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion to go to the consent agenda.
I have a motion by Diana,
Second motion?
second by Antonio, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. So, we need to approve study session minutes for Tuesday, February 28th, which is on page 1.
You have to.
Okay, thank you, Mary. So we're gonna go ahead and do a public hearing. Do we have a public hearing, Audie? No.
No public hearing.
Okay, old business? No old business, new business? A, approval of the H2O Solutions cleaning and inspection for the Reservoir 1 and 2, that's on page 5. If I can get a motion for that.
I make the motion to approve the H2O Solution cleaning and inspection for the Reservoir 1 and 2.
I have a motion by Diana,
I second it.
second by Ann. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. B, approval of resolution 2023-10, a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign an employment agreement with Ian Alexander for the position of code enforcer for seasonal. And we're going to go ahead and table this. And Ian did-
I do have some more information for you on that. It's the benefits are under PEBB, right? Or
What was that? What was that?
you had a question about the benefits. That would be under PEBB.
Okay.
Well, that indicates that if it's a seasonal employee from 3 to 6 months, that if you don't intend to bring them back the next year, you do not have to give them benefits. But if you intend to bring them back every season, then you do have to give them benefits. And it appears that they only need to work 80 hours a month to be eligible after that first season. But if you know that if your only intention is this season and don't know if you're going to bring them back, you don't have to give them the benefits.
All right, thank you. So we're going to go ahead and table this, but Ian is here this evening. So Ian, this is our council, and they will be making the decision at our next meeting because they do want a little bit more information. We did do a contract, but unfortunately it wasn't something that was done right, but that was on our behalf. So the attorney is going to go ahead and look at it once again because they had some questions on it. And so it's just going to be tabled and wait and see what they decide at the next meeting. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. So we're going to go ahead and go on to C, approval of South Main Street overlay construction contract award to Central Paving LLC of Ellensburg.
Mayor, can we get a motion to table C?
Tom, get a motion?
I make the motion to table the resolution of the mayor signing the employment agreement.
I got a motion by Diana,
Second the motion.
second by Antonio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. So now we're going to go ahead and go to C, approval of the South Main Street overlay construction contract award to Central Paving LLC of Ellensburg.
I make the motion to approve the South Main Street overlay.
I have a motion by Diana,
Second the motion.
second by Antonio. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Approval of South Main Street overlay construction engineering services. Supplement agreement with Gray and Osborne.
I make the motion to approve the South Main Street overlay.
I have a motion by Diana,
I second the motion.
second by Ann. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
I have one more question for payment. And are they gonna hook up the power line for the Christmas decorations to be put up in the when
The
the
post?
Oh, so
And-
those, they don't have anything to do with that, right?
No,
I-
but VPNL, that's part of the
No.
contract deal,
I,
isn't
I
it?
call, I already talked to them last week about it, because they have the 2 posts out there, right? And they're gonna move everything to the new posts, is that what you're wondering? They're moving everything to
Yeah,
the
but
small
that,
posts?
the power, what line is there right now is a cable. But there's the lines, that power lines that, to plug in for the Christmas decorations.
So we did have some discussions with PPL to get them to move those poles. And it sounds like what you need is an additional outlet.
Yeah, had lines from the existing pole.
Were they electrical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or were they just a guy wire that you kind of hung stuff on?
No, it was electrical,
Okay.
plug-in.
We are still working with them on that, on the rest of the lighting for Main Street itself. And as part of that lighting, we can certainly add electrical outlets on those lights. So we can reach back out to PPL and discuss that. Are there specific locations that you need the outlets?
Believe that the ones, they're already on the poles, on the existing poles.
Okay,
So they're not every single pole, I think they're like every other pole on the one side, and then they go across the street to the other. So
Okay.
they kind of
You'll
skip
see
around.
the cords running up and down that
okay.
need to be ran.
Okay.
And if not, then you can come talk to Joe, and he can, kind of walk them through it if they need to.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah, that was my question. Because when I was outside right now, I seen that they weren't hooked up and
Yes, yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't have known to reconnect those, so we'll talk with them. But yes, they do still have some more work to do too, as do some of the other utilities that come down through here.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go on to E, approval of the parking right improvements project construction contract awarded to Wheeler Excavation LLC on page 15.
So just want to clarify on this, that this would just be contract award of the base bid.
The base bid?
Base bid.
Yeah, it's scheduled, it'd be schedules A and B.
No, this is essentially the 2 additive items. If you wanted the 2 additive items, this is where you would include
You
those.
could vote to include those,
But that would be with city funds.
funds.
So if you want to do that with either one of those with city funds, this would be your chance to award them. Otherwise, you just would award the base bids. Sorry. I'll let the man at this podium speak.
You did vote.
Is a base bid or?
16 or 17?
Which one?
Page
What page
17.
is that? Page 16 or 17?
That's page 16, right?
Pardon?
Page 16?
We don't have the packet, we just have our own packet, sorry.
Oh,
So they just need to know what they were, give a little more detail. Like, they're gonna do just the base bid, and we're gonna award it to, if we are going to award it to someone, correct?
So you have the base bid,
Mhm.
and so you have the funds, or you're very close to basically have the funds to award the base bid. And then you have an additive item for a decorative sign and an additive item for irrigation and hydro seeding of that little piece at the end. So it's gonna be like a parking lot, little piece at the end. You can choose to award both of those, but those are beyond your current funding, and so the city would be on the hook for paying
Yeah,
that.
so
And so you could do one or the other. You could include the sign because it is a good price for a sign, and not do the hydro seeding and then work with somebody else to do the hydro seeding and landscaping. You could not award either. But those are up your choices.
Right.
Yeah, so I think we're not gonna do with the hydro seeding, and we go with the sign. What do you think? Because the hydro seeding, that was kind of spending.
I thought the guy was gonna do that.
Yeah, well, no, they are, but we can do the seeding.
And you have irrigation. But you
Irrigation.
can have somebody else do the irrigation in the future if you want.
And to be clear, though, including the sign does result in the city would be required to pay for the cost of this one. If we were to find other savings in the project or something, sometimes it happens, but it's probably not going to be the amount of the sign. The sign itself is $15,000, so we would be responsible for that $15,000.
Okay. So, when we do if we do, let's say, go with the sign and the council's fine with going with the sign, then, we go ahead and get that done when they're out there, but if they decide, well, let's just kind of wait on it, then we can wait on it and bring it back, or?
You're not guaranteed that price, right?
Oh,
So this is the time you could
change order back into the
And
project.
then he could say, oh, it's more, or it's less.
So the sign is gonna be like a big screen TV, or what kind of sign is it?
It's
15,000, yeah, I expect it's
What
gonna be
kind
a
of
big
sign
was
is
sign.
it that we're looking at?
It was the metal sign that they showed us on the slide, when they were here. It was like the one that kind of what Sunnyside has, right?
There was a couple of basalt columns, right, with a metal sign,
The metal
right,
sign. Mhm.
in between.
Yeah, it was a nice one. It was kind of similar to what other cities have,
Oh,
so,
okay.
Basically, like the one that Grammy has on the middle of the
yeah.
street and Highway 12, they say,
Mhm.
welcome to Grammy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It'll be on
It's
the
a big
corner,
sign.
kind of on the corner there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is that sign going on?
So it'll be the corner, it'll be at the parking right, so it'll be at the southeast corner of Main and the highway, right in the park and ride grass. And it was, the idea, I think, was 2 basalt columns with metal in between it, probably gravel or decorative rock, right? Is that-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, a 4x8, it's
Columns.
an aluminum sign basically, with the columns to support it. Yep.
Okay.
But that's
Ask, what is the sign gonna say?
City of Madison.
city logo.
15,000. A
A
metal sign.
The metal sign and then the basalt columns are, columns are.
Is it gonna be
Yeah, we
high?
asked if they could fix the fence on that cemetery.
How tall would you say that? It's probably roughly 8 feet or so?
5 to 6.
5 to 6.
5 to 6 feet.
And you don't have that picture with you today, kind of refreshing their memory a little bit
Unfortunately.
It's in the,
in the packet. Well, it's in your
well,
packets from,
you can pull it up on the bid website. You could use the laptop, pull it off the bid website.
Try that.
Yes, if you guys would like to see it.
Marty?
Can you have a few
can you
seconds?
pull it up, do you think?
I'm looking for it.
Go to Chrome and type in Go Bids, Go Bids.
Something like that.
Yeah, top one, perfect. And then Mapton Park and Ride is like the 6th one, 7th one down. Go to plans. Yep. Go to plans, the orange button. Yep, right there. And click on those.
Download.
Just click on the link.
Yeah, click on them and take you to it. And we wait. And scroll down to like 11, sheet 11. Yeah, almost at the end. Keep going, keep going.
This is your parking right project?
Keep going. Up, right there.
There, okay, there we go.
Oh, yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you zoom in on that?
That's $15,000.
Yeah, the basalt columns themselves are actually quite expensive.
It's amazing how much everything construction related costs right now.
That does include, it's not just the sign though, it does include some, does include the rock around it, right? Like the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's totally up to you guys. We're not saying you should or shouldn't, it's just, that's the
And
bid
it's
we
just like you
got.
said, when I asked, okay, so let's say if we put it off and then we say like, okay, we want it, then it might be not even 15,000 anymore.
Yeah. And it would look a little bit updated than what some of the homemade signs are. Right?
Yeah, it's nice.
You guys like it, Darren, Trudy? Do you,
Is
Trudy?
that thing gold plated?
Okay, well, this one was how much over here?
It does have.
Mm-hmm.
It does have
That's not a
a,
reader board, that's totally different than that.
But 64,000 for that?
For what?
For that reader board out here.
Oh, my.
So I say, I think it's good for 15. I mean, we need a new sign for Mapton. I I know the public works guys are gonna work on the ones that the school has done, they're gonna paint them and sand them. But that would look really nice right there in the entrance.
Yeah.
To people from Bickerton saying, welcome to Smith.
So,
If they
and we need to
don't-
let them know so that they can,
Yeah, that's
Okay.
okay.
And I was
Okay.
wrong, it's one basalt column, I said two, just to be clear, it's a basalt column on each side.
I think
Only one
so.
side is all-
Yeah, one on each.
Yeah,
One in the middle.
as you saw.
Two total.
Sign again?
No, it's,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, I go for the sign.
yeah, I do that. I will be sitting right here. So, okay, so,
Martha has a question.
Thank you for coming. That's gonna be in that end?
no, it's gonna be right here in this corner.
Oh, in this corner.
Facing which way?
Facing towards the highway.
On the
So
south.
any sort of kitty corner from the gas station, kind of facing back towards the gas station.
So we can get an approval on that, guys, on the approval for parking right improvement project.
So I guess the form of the motion would probably be something like award the park and ride, award Schedule A and B and additive item 1 of the park and ride if you wish to have the decorative park sign, or just award Schedules A and B of the park and ride if you do not wish to have the park and ride sign.
Would you like to award the park and ride welcome Mapton sign? Or not? We don't know on it.
I think we need, I want the sign. What do you guys think there? You guys want the
Can
sign?
afford it.
Can
If
we
the money's
afford
there,
it?
yes, if the money's not there, I mean, we're gonna have to wait.
I think we're fine. Brian, you're looking into finances and stuff for us.
Right, and this is grant money, no?
Well,
The sign wouldn't.
The sign is not?
Yeah, the sign is not.
sign is, but we have to pay.
15,000. We're fine.
It's 20,
Okay,
20 every month.
he says we're fine.
Okay,
So,
and let's go for the sign.
so can I get a motion to award, an award letter for the sign?
It would be award Schedules A and B of the park and ride project along with additive item 1, the decorative park.
Can I get a motion for that?
I make the motion for the lettering A and B.
A and B and additive item 1.
And the added, yes.
I have a motion by Diana,
Second emotion?
second by Sonia. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now we're gonna go ahead and go on to G, approval of the grade crossing construction and maintenance agreement. That was on page 44 through 98.
I think you have this CA agreement there too, right?
What's that?
For like the construction engineering.
I think we jumped from E to G, I think.
Yeah,
Skipped over
the
F.
construction leader, and then the approval of parking lot improvement project. And then now we're on the approval of the grade crossing construction.
So you still have, so there's two park and ride things, I think the second park and ride.
Yeah, the second park and ride option, item, not option, is item F, and it is the contract with Crayon Osborne for construction administration services.
Oh, okay. So approval of the parking lot improvement project for construction administration services contract amendment with Ray and Osborne. I need an approval. And what page was that on? It's right here. Okay.
And it's the same price whether you do the sign or not. We'll do the sign part for free. Our part.
On the record.
Okay, I'll make the motion for the approval of the park and ride improvement project.
I have a motion by Diane,
I second the motion.
second by Ann. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now we go to G. Approval of the grade crossing construction and maintenance agreement, which is on page 44 through 98. So if I can get a motion, please?
This is the one we had talked about, right?
Correct. This is an agreement with Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad for them to construct crossing improvements and allow the city to move forward with the Main Street, the North Main Street reconstruction.
Okay, I make a motion to approve of the grade crossing construction and the maintenance agreement.
Have a motion by Diana,
Second motion?
second by Antonio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
When's all of this supposed to start?
The park and ride improvement project, we talked with that contractor, tentatively, he's looking at starting that work in about the middle of May. The South Main Street overlay project, we have not received a date yet from that contractor. And then the North Main Street project has not bid yet, so there'll be much more discussion on that. But we would target probably sometime in June for that. For starting construction.
It's gonna be a mess for a while. It's one of those, get worse before it gets better.
It'll get done before winter, right?
Yes.
Hopefully, we don't get rain.
When they start moving, they move on.
Any staff reports, Nadia?
I have nothing, thank you, Mayor.
What was that?
I don't have any staff reports, thank you.
Okay, Brian?
No. Mayor, I just do a quick update on the well project. Like I said, you want to work on the agenda. So I just want to give a quick update. We talked about transportation all the time, but there is a well project coming, don't forget. So we've talked about it a few times, but we've modified the project to drill 2 wells, well 7 and 8. Worked with the funding agencies to get approval on that. One funder, we're still working on paperwork for, but the one who actually paid for the drilling has approved it. And so we have the design almost complete. We're working on our final review this Friday with the goal of advertising it for bids by the end of the month. At that point, drillers are really busy. So we'll advertise our bids, we'll get bids, we'll pick a low bidder sometime in April, and then we may be waiting a few months until they get to us in line to drill the wells. The current locations that we're planning to drill the wells, we've talked about before, one will go near well 6, and that way you can reuse some of the existing infrastructure for that. The other will go near well 4, and you can reuse some of the existing building for that. That's how we're trying to get 2 wells out of this project, is putting them near the other wells. You were successful in receiving an additional $500,000 from the county, which is great. We can kind of squint and see how we can make it work with the existing budget, but you're trying to do 2 wells for the price of what was originally estimated for 1 well at prices in about 2018. And construction prices have gone up almost hilariously since then. So that's where we're at with that project and our current schedule. The one thing I wanted to make sure and give you guys an update on, you remember we talked a couple months ago about doing sampling, and so our water operator came and worked with one of the city staff, worked with Mari, actually went out with him, and they took samples at a number of private wells around town to get nitrate samples. Because the thing is, in this whole valley, almost all the shallower wells have nitrates, and these new wells are going to be shallower wells. They're going to be about 155 feet deep, and so they will have, pretty much no matter where you drill them, they're going to have some nitrates in the water. The state limit is 10 milligrams per liter, so as long as they're below 10, we're good. They did sampling all around. All the wells except for one were below 10 milligrams per liter. There was one that was above it, but there were some issues with the well construction that would make us think that it would be more susceptible. It's a very shallow well, essentially. Versus your well, while it's only 150 feet deep, it will have a clay around it all the way down to 105 feet. And so that will protect it from some of the shallow stuff. It'll be shallow, but not the shallowest. It'll be a little bit deeper. There was some trend in the sampling, so they sampled around. Some trend where south of town had higher nitrate, closer to the river had lower nitrate. And so where we're projecting to put the wells at the same locations as 4 and 6 is kind of in the middle of that. It may be a little higher. However, so this is essentially the decision, and I think that we prepared it to be in this location. But if you put it on the north side of town, you might have slightly better water quality. You might. But if you need to blend, so here's the deal. If it's above 10 milligrams per liter, you have to blend it with another source, right? All of your other wells are here. So if you do want to blend, you want the wells next to your existing wells. And if it is a little bit higher, you can blend with your other water, and that brings the concentration down. Additionally, all your infrastructure is set up for wells in that area. So if you decide to put the wells over here, it'd be a lot more expensive. You're looking at a new well house and a more complicated control scheme and losing space out of one of your parks or something like that. And so that's why when you take it all into perspective, like from a pure water quality perspective, the north side town might be better. You look at the infrastructure, the ability to blend, to control, the environmental work that's already been done, you would recommend moving forward with the planned locations. And the sampling that was completed didn't do anything to dissuade us from that. The one thing that we've included in the design and what we recommend is they'll drill one well first to the point where we can sample it. And that way, if the nitrate is very high there for some reason, stop with one, you can blend it with your other sources and then hold off on the second well and look at alternatives for the second well and maybe move that if necessary. And that's the way we've set the contract documents up. So I want to give you an update. If you hear anything here you want to ask questions about or say no, that's your prerogative. Otherwise, we'll move forward and hopefully get this project out for bids by the end of the month.
Okay.
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you much.
Thanks.
Neil, do you have anything to add?
Only that you should comply with daylight savings time and change that clock on the wall an hour ahead.
Thank you, yes.
You've got engineers here, they ought to be able to figure it out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any council members have any reports? Okay, I don't have any reports, other than just our computers have been acting up. But other than that, we're done. So this meeting is adjourned at 7:55. Thank you.